Hi Bryce, how are you?
Hi Hannah, not too bad, thank you, not too bad. Welcome to Misgill.
Oh, right, Miscule, where is that exactly for our listeners?
We're in the southwest of Scotland, about 25 miles south of west of Glasgow.
And over the hedge are some beautiful Ayrshire cattle, and I don't think I've ever seen Ayrshire cattle in real life. We don't have them in Ireland. All I've seen is pictures. That's
Brilliant,
it.
brilliant. Yes, we've got 40 Ayrshire cattle here at Misgill. We're trying to sort of bring back the more traditional side of the Ayrshire herd. Believe it or not, there's not that many Ayrshire herds left in Ayrshire, but they are all around the world, from New Zealand to the west coast of America. And I've been speaking to farmers today who have had Ayrshires over there, so it's quite exciting to hear. But yes, we've got some Ayrshires here. They produce fantastic milk, which is why they have them, and we really love the history of the area and bring them back to the sort of grazing pastures of Misgill.
Yeah, and I guess you have some beautiful multi-species swards in there, but we're going to walk on back to your farmyard because you are doing something really, really interesting. You're organic, you're delivering milk locally, it's all your own milk, and you're developing kind of a cooperative system with other local farmers. You're aiming to get to zero emissions by 2025. My head is spinning, and I know there's more than that going on. So give us a basic rundown of your story. So you were in the car business essentially.
It was, yes. So yes, you're absolutely right. I left the farm at 16. I had zero intention of taking on the family business. I couldn't think of anything worse than working with cows at the time. I wanted to work with cars, and I went to Mercedes-Benz to do that. After 10 years of pursuing that career, we discovered that both my father and my grandfather were unwell. And I took a few months off work to try and help them out. And initially we knew they were so unwell that we'd have to try and sell the farm. That was basically what we were trying to come back to. So I come back and I spent a month there, and I kind of realised I fell in love with the place and sort of remembered the good parts of the farm that I remembered when I was young. And I felt, let's give it a go. So I handed my notice in at Mercedes, gave it a go. My grandfather, he died after 3 months. My father a year later. We then discovered my gran was unwell as well. She was the final surviving partner of the business, and she died shortly after as well. On top of that, the international milk price collapsed. So this was now sort of 2014. And it collapsed so bad that we ended up in the lowest paid milk contract in the UK. We went from 27 pence per litre to 9.7 pence per litre in a very short time.
That's terrifying.
It was absolutely terrifying, especially when Mr. Bank Manager came along and said, sorry Bryce, you've no experience, sorry your dad and grandpa's away, but we can't support your business anymore, so you're not making money. So that was when things really had to change for us. So
you're looking, I guess, around the farmyard, what are you going to do? And I guess a lot of people would have sold up, but you just dug deeper. That's what you seem to have done.
Yes, so I come back to the farm, this preconceived idea of, a farm's just a business. My father telling me it's a way of life is a load of rubbish, but actually I realised that it was a way of life, and it was a way of life I wanted to continue. I didn't want to be the one that the farm fell down round about. But then on top of that, I came from an industry where, in the car industry, the car garage sets the price of a car and sells it to someone who wants to buy it. If they don't want to buy it, they walk away. We didn't have that option in farming. We sold a product to a commodity who dictated the price to you, and I didn't want that to happen for us. So we sold everything we could. Now, we're tenant farmers, so in a way it was very bad because we couldn't pay off the debt, but in a way it was very good because the bank couldn't take the farm office. So we sold all the cows that we could, we sold all the tractors. We were left with 28 cows, which weren't great for selling, which is, to be honest, is the reason we still had them. So with these sort of 28 cows, which weren't great, we couldn't sell to a big dairy corporate because they had no interest in picking up 28 cows worth of milk. And we bought this old-fashioned 10-litre yoghurt maker and started to pasteurise our own milk, and it took hours to do. It was very inefficient, but we started delivering milk to a local community, and thankfully it was very well received, and we started growing my business from there.
That's incredible. Because you've got a wife and a young family, and she was telling me earlier, I was chatting to her, she's a primary school teacher, doesn't come from a farm. I mean, because there's a family implication to all of this as well. Was she kind of looking at you going, oh dear, I don't know if this wasn't in the vows, or were they behind you, I guess? Were the family behind you, and were the community kind of behind you?
So the story actually goes in deeper than that in my personal life. So when I came from Mercedes to here, I just got married. And it wasn't to my current wife. So basically we got married, we came to the farm, and that was very much the case. After 2 years, we sat down and went, listen, this just isn't the life that my previous wife had signed up for. With a young son, Aaron, Aaron, I wasn't taking any time away from the farm. It was as bad as it could get. I was working 365 days a year, 22-hour days most days, and family life just completely disintegrated. And then in 2018, this kind of hit its head. We separated, filed for divorce, and then I got hit by a bull 3 months later, and I was hospitalised for weeks, and unable to work. The whole business was falling down round about me. Couldn't really work out what I was doing, and then I just kind of it was a sort of moment. I was kind of out, I think I was out like trying to bring the cows in with a broken shoulder and a cracked rib, and I thought to myself, this is not life, this isn't what I'm about. And it was around about the same time as that we decided that we weren't just doing this for ourselves, we were wanting to bring in other farmers, and I thought to myself, I cannot keep doing this, it's going to kill me. So I kind of thought, right, let's grow the team, let's get more people involved. I need to take a step back, I need to realise that I can't run everything, and I need to meet someone that really sort of gets what I'm trying to do, and I need to then be pulled away from the farm. So that was when I met Ashley, my current wife. She had 2 kids as well, two boys. We met, we hit it off straight away. She came in and her job, she said that her job from day one was to increase the work-life balance of me. So yeah, we work on great. So I work away as long as I can. She shouts at me to get back in the house, and then it works really well. It's a great relationship.
And there's 4 beautiful children there now, as well, a collective family, and they're stunning. And they were telling me they're all named after kind of different parts of Scotland. So there's that real strong Scottish heritage, and we might get back to that. But you started from a very, very low base. You're telling us we're selling 600 litres a week. How many litres a week are you selling now, and who are you selling to?
So we're now selling between 30 and 35,000 litres a week. That's going out to a really diverse range of our customers. We call them supporters. They were supporters because they're not just buying our milk, they're supporting our vision of farming now.
They seem to kind of, is dictate the right word, of the practices on the farm as well? So you practice kind of a calf at foot system as well, or is that's just key to the element of it, that you support what your customers want?
Yes, it is. So a few years ago we put out a questionnaire and we said, there's so much talk out there of how should we farm today, and our customers they're very much the driver of what we do at Miskiel. So we've now actually split the business into 2. So we've got our own farm, which is Pasture for Life accredited, and we have the other farms that we work with, the 4 other organic farms in South West Scotland that we work with. And a few years ago we put out a questionnaire, and the questionnaire was basically, how do you see farming and what would you like to see in farming? And overwhelmingly, the reply come back that they would like to see the calves staying with the mothers. They wanted to see less cereals used in production because of what they were reading about the damage that cereal production was causing abroad and then being imported. And also a few other things like natural service instead of AI, and just the way that the cows were handled. So we thought we'd try and put it into practice. So being a very small herd, it was much easier for us to do so with just a couple of dozen cows. So we started off the cow with calf. We stopped feeding any cereals. And to be honest, we couldn't really afford to feed many cereals anyway, so it was an easy step for us as well. And then we left the horns in the cows. We started the natural service at the time, and we just kind of tested it to see if it would work. And as the business grew and grew and grew, we had to have a little bit more margin there. If we made a massive mistake, it wasn't going to finish the farm. But it certainly wasn't easy to swallow, but it didn't finish the farm. And we just kind of honed it. And now we have this Pasture for Life accredited, no cereals, horns in the cows, and we're doing the cow with calf system as well. So we're weaning the calves at 4 months off the mothers, and we're taking the bulls on to 8 months for veal. And it's been really interesting to see the change. Interestingly, we've had a lot of pushback from conventional farmers in the area, but actually a lot of smaller scale farmers or new entrants have just been coming in to see us and actually really interested in the concept. And we've started taking a lot of the economic data, because what we want to see one day is a system whereby new entrants and perhaps retirees can use a system like this to then go forward and farm much more smaller scale, much more cheaply, and also sell their milk to us so we can be a platform for them to then get a premium for it. Because obviously today it's such a volume driven industry that we want to change that for small scale family farmers and have a quality driven industry.
And I guess people could probably hear a car going by there, but that's because we're coming up to your farmyard, and there's things that I want to point out here. But explain how your calf at foot system works for people, because that can be a controversial idea as well. So physically, how does your calf at foot system work?
Yes, it certainly can be controversial, especially in this area. So the way the calf at foot system works is the calf is born, we leave the calf with the mother for 24 hours without touching them, unless there's an issue, of course. We then allow the calves to stay with the mothers during the day, that's from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The calf then comes in at night, is put in a straw pen with some hay, gets back out the next morning after the milking, so we milk once per day at 7:30 in the morning. And then the calf retains like that for 4 months, and then at weaning we put a calving tag on, so it's a little yellow flap, a bit like a suckling ring, that goes in the calves, and that pushes the teat away and naturally weans the calf. The calves then stay with the dams until 8 months, when basically we're at housing time by this time, because we're spring calving. and then they're separated at that time. There's much less stress in both animals. The bulls go away to become veal, and the system works very, very well. The growth in the calves is quite phenomenal, considering they're not getting any cereals either, so it's been really interesting to see how it goes.
And it was noisy back there, and that's because we passed your bottle washing area.
Yes, we just passed the area.
Yeah, bottle washing area, and you also used like old refrigerated trucks as refrigerating units in it, because you said no one would lend you any money, so you had to kind of diversify and figure stuff out. And then I will let you go because I know you have guests to mind. Yep, but yeah, that was a big part of it too, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So back in 2014-15, we were effectively bankrupted. So we were, not as such, but I was almost there. It was one signature away from it. So the banks wouldn't lend us any money. Now I'm a sole trader now because the partnership was then disintegrated with no succession plan, because it wasn't supposed to happen this way. So being a private tenant farmer, we were also not able to become limited either. So we couldn't, in one hand, borrow from the bank. We couldn't, on the other hand, get private investment and to sell shares in the business. So we were completely stuck. We couldn't raise funds. So what we did was over the next few years, we were able to work with suppliers who gave us extended credit. We were able to sort of move things about, use our profits to reinvest. And what we did was to grow the dairy, was to buy old scrap lorries, take the refrigeration unit off the back of them, which we knew were already food safe and approved, sit them down, cut a hole in the side of them for a door, and then that was our dairy. When we wanted to increase, we bought another one, put it in the side of it, again increase. We've now got 5 of them.
And your mechanical skills, because you created your own pasteurisation unit as well, that must have been huge.
Yes, we did. So as the business grew, we wanted to retain the low and slow way of pasteurisation at the lower temperatures, and because of that, we basically couldn't buy anything off the shelf. There was no real supply of these machines of scale, so we ended up buying the old-fashioned ice building tanks, the old square ones that you got sort of in the 70s and 80s. I know everyone's upgraded to DX tanks now, but we got one of them, took the cooling equipment out of it, stuck a couple of immersers in there, and it became a massive bain-marie. We then went and bought a sort of heat recovery unit, so we could recover the heat from each batch, use that in the next batch, and then we designed a few other bits and bobs to basically make it as efficient as possible. So we're now today able to process the 30 to 35,000 litres a week with the efficiency of high temperature pasteurisation, but keep the quality and the unique flavour of low temperature pasteurisation, but also get the 9-day shelf life, which is almost impossible to get in most low temperature situations.
You've a zero plastic policy, everything is glass, you are using electric vehicles to deliver all of the milk around here. I'm going to let you go in a second, but your targets for the next couple of years, what are the targets?
Yep, so the first target we had was to be organic by 2018, which we managed to do. We wanted to be single-use plastic free by Robert Burns' birthday in 2019.
Because this is Robert Burns' farmland, essentially, yeah.
So we managed to do that, and then my next goal was by December 2025, we want to be processing 100,000 litres a week in a net zero way, and we're very much on target for that. We've now got 50% of our van fleet is electric. We've got solar panels starting to installed next week, believe it or not. We've got biomass technology on farm already, and we're using state-of-the-art technology, something called absorption chilling as well, which is going into our new dairy which we're trying to build, which basically takes the waste heat of biomass and turns it into cooling, so then we also reduce the carbon footprint of the cooling of our milk as well.
Tell people the website, and I will leave you in peace because you are a busy man, you have guests here, and thank you very much for your time. So what's the website so people can check out some more?
So the website is mossgillfarm.co.uk, but perhaps you're better off keeping up to date on Facebook. That's where most of our news goes if you want to keep up there, which is also Moss Gill Farm.
Bryce, thank you so much and best of luck. Take care. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Inspirational stuff there from Bryce Cunningham. And for anyone who might be heading to Scotland on your holidays, you can pick up a pint of his milk for £1.20, and if you return the bottle you will get your 20 pence back. But that's it for this week from Organic Matters. If you want any more information on organics, visit www.irishodganicassociation.ie, and remember to subscribe. There's a weekly episode out every Saturday. But for now, thank you very much for tuning in.